Funding for this program was provided by Community Trust Bank, serving the communities of North Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi for more than a century. Community Trust Bank is a proud partner of LPB's Louisiana Legends.
Funding for this program was provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.
The traits that defined Terry Bradshaw in adulthood were also there in his formative years, growing up in Shreveport with brothers Gary and Craig.
They've all got their own personalities, but Terry's always been the instigator of anything that goes on. He's it. And we could always just entertain ourselves and have a great time at it.
He's always been a young man of character, good character, God-fearing, God-loving.
But Terry was also a young man of action.
Oh, he always wanted to play football.
And he was good. Not his dad, but he was good.
Good enough to be recruited by Louisiana Tech and have the entire offense designed around his considerable capabilities.
I remember the offensive coach told me when he was a sophomore that he'd be a #1 draft pick, that he was the luckiest guy in the world to coach a guy with this much athletic ability. The ball went like a bullet.
In my 4 years in the Old American Football League, I never saw anyone with an arm that could equal Terry Bradshaw. I can't ever remember a more enjoyable time in my coaching career than the 3 years that I spent with Terry Bradshaw. And the saddest thing in my life at that point in time was when he graduated and went on to the National Football League.
Terry was the first player chosen in the 1970 NFL Draft. As a Pittsburgh Steeler, he called his own plays and set many Steeler records that still stand to this day. He was the first quarterback to earn 4 Super Bowl rings, all of which he donated to his alma mater, Louisiana Tech. After retiring prior to the 1984 season, Terry moved on to become a prominent sports analyst for network television, winning multiple Emmy Awards for his work on Fox NFL Sunday. Terry is also a music recording artist, film and television performer, motivational speaker, and author of 5 books.
Terry, in life and in the game of football, there's one thing he had. He's been knocked down many times on the field and in his personal life, but he has the ability to get up and go again.
Well, I'm not sure, but I think I said that he was a wonderful guy. He's a caring guy. He's a loving guy. He shows all that.
He was just a joy to have, and a joy to be around, and still is.
You did good, Mama.
Terry Bradshaw, a true Louisiana legend. Hello, I'm Beth Courtney. Welcome to Louisiana Legends. I'm here with legendary football star and man of many talents, Terry Bradshaw. We're here in North Louisiana at Squire Creek, beautiful golf club. So how's golf?
Ruston.
Squire Creek, Ruston, Louisiana. How's the golfing going, Terry?
It's fun. It's not necessarily, Beth, whether or not you score well. It's who you play with and the fact that you can get out and play. That's the most important thing. So I'm able to do that, and I'm with my buddies. That's cool. Well,
that's great. You are with some of your buddies here, and of course you're back home. You grew up not too far from here. So as we're kind of reminiscing a little bit, tell us where exactly did you live? Was it in the Shreveport proper or outside of the city?
I didn't know they had a proper, but if they did, I guess I would have been outside of proper. But I was raised south of town in a little community of Brookwood. Actually grew up on West 74th Street by Linwood Junior High, and my daddy was a trolley driver, and I got to go to I remember when the fair came to town, I got a free trolley ride, but you had to change trolleys, and I didn't know how to change trolleys. So my older brother, he was in in charge of making sure we changed right. But I remember I went to the fair with 50 cents. I thought that's pretty cool.
The big state fair.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
So, yeah, exactly. So I would say I was almost city proper, but more than likely my first West 74th Street, then we moved to Iowa for 5 years, and then back to Brookwood, and then I went to Woodlawn High School from there. So yeah.
And you evidently told your father that you were going to be a star. You were going to be
well,
a football star. Is that true?
Beth, no. I did not say I was going to be a star. I just said, I never forget my daughter telling me when she wanted to be a star, and I said, don't ever say that. Don't ever say you're going to be a star. Say I want to be a welder or this or that. Don't ever say you want to be a star. I never said I was going to be a star. I just said I wanted to play in the NFL. That was my dream.
Well, playing in the NFL was a good aspiration, I guess, for a young boy at the time.
Well, I was 7.
At 7.
What else are you going to do when you're 7?
Exactly, at 7.
I liked it. And true to fashion, my dad, he paid no attention to me.
Ignored you totally.
Totally.
Didn't think it was prophetic at all.
No. 7-year-old kid.
So therefore, did you not study in school? You just decided you were going to, did you spend a lot of time throwing that football?
No, I did what I had to do, but I spent a great deal of time throwing that football. Yeah, I did like any young person would do, whether it's singing, horseback riding, playing an instrument of some sort. I never forget, I got my first football for Christmas, and it was just, it blew me away. And I was a huge Iowa Hawkeye fan. And black and gold. So it's all kind of, has this everything here lined up.
Right.
And I just, in the wintertime in Iowa, it was a lot of snow, and I just threw it and threw it and threw it and threw it. And I was just fascinated, just totally fascinated with it.
I think there's a book recently that says you have to practice 10,000 hours in whatever it is you're going to do, be it a hockey player or a computer programmer or whatever. And so it takes that much practice, really.
But it wasn't anything that anyone had to remind me to do.
You enjoyed it.
I lived with that football in my hand. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I did 10,000 hours, but I did as much as time and daylight would allow me to do. The problem was nobody else shared my passion. So who's going to catch this ball for all these hours? And I mostly I learned how to throw it into a snowbank, and so it stuck. And then I'd throw it on top of the house. And then I pretended, I played all these games and threw it on top of trees because nobody played catch with me. And so if I could have found someone that shared my passion, that would have been a different thing. But I didn't have that, so I made do as best I could. But if it took 10,000 hours, I would not have. I would have done 10,000 hours in one. Easily.
You certainly were a star at Woodlawn High School. I remember everybody saying, you were the best high school football player. And then you ended up going to Louisiana Tech. Now, tell us how that occurred. Now, I'm of your generation, and I do recall that when I was at LSU, everybody really wanted you to come to LSU.
Well,
what's the real story?
I'll tell you the story. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but it's the truth. We had a parade All-American named Terry Bradshaw at Woodlawn High School, where I went to school, and he had signed with LSU, highly sought after. LSU did not throw the football at all.
That's right. They were the Charlie McClendon, the off-left tackle.
Boring. And so I succeeded Trey Prather, and I wasn't nearly as good as Trey Prather. And in LSU and the alumni, back then the alumni could put a lot of pressure on you, and I actually signed with LSU, but I couldn't pass the ACT test. So if you can't pass the ACT test,
or score high enough on it.
Right, I made 15 on it. You had to make 16 on it.
Yeah, you had to make one more.
Pitiful score. So therefore, LSU wanted me to go to a junior college. I didn't want to go to LSU. Trey Prather was there.
Right.
I couldn't beat him out in high school. How was I going to beat him out in college? And I just young and immature kid. I was 17, but I was just not mature enough. I'm 5-6 years even at my age now. I'm just way behind. And I know that now. I didn't know it then. I just just, it just sounds good to sign with LSU or Notre Dame or whatever. And but I couldn't get in. And then I really had a dilemma. I had, at the time, about 5 or 6 colleges. But Louisiana Tech had been after me from the get-go. And I was getting a pretty big sale from a couple of coaches, and it was just BS. Mm-hmm. Now that I look back on it, go stroke somebody else. I know better now. But when you're young and immature and gullible, and I couldn't get into LSU, and so Louisiana Tech was the school that was after me, and so I ended up signing with Louisiana Tech.
And when you went to Louisiana Tech, you ran into a coach that just changed your life in many ways. You're
Mickey Slaughter.
A good friend, right?
Yep.
Tell us about him and how much he meant to you.
Well, my freshman year was Coach Joe I.A. Mm-hmm. And all I can remember about Coach Joe I.A. was how complicated the offense was, because the NFL used to come to Tech because he was so smart with the passing game. Oh, he's brilliant. And it was very complicated. And I remember sitting in on all our quarterback sessions going, holy cow. And it was just really sophisticated. Very much multiple formation shifts. Oh, it's just, but I liked it a lot. And I played a lot as a freshman under Coach Joe I.A. But we only won one game. And he had been there and had his run at Tech for however many years. And he retired or moved on, and they brought in Maxie Lambright from University of Southern Mississippi. Mm-hmm. University of Southern Mississippi, Beth, ran the football. That's all they did. Mm-hmm. And so when they signed Maxie Lambright, we had a team meeting trying to get George Doherty hired as our head coach. George Doherty was one of the finest human beings I ever met in my life, but he was too nice. We needed a nasty human being
to be the
that's
coach.
What our team, and I knew that. Everything's too easy. And so they were campaigning for George Doherty. We had a team meeting, and so everybody was in there, and they were pitching, and we're going to do this, and we're going to go before the committees, and so let's have a show of hands for George Doherty, and who, by the way, recruited me for Tech, and I signed with because of. And I was the only one that didn't raise my hand.
Oh.
So they asked me to stand up and tell them why. So I stood up and told them why, and they hated my guts. So I thought, well, this is a good time for me to get out of here. And so I called Florida State, who had recruited me pretty heavily after the All-Star game, which I played really good in. And they said, Bill Peterson was the coach. Come on down. So I was transferring from Tech to Florida State. I don't know if a lot of folks know this story. And my brother, Gary, we got in a car. We had just enough gas money. And when we didn't have enough, we would go in and raid hotels' Coke machines and get all their Coke bottles. And you could get a nickel
Turn them in,
per
right?
Coke. Exactly. That's how we got enough money to get to Tallahassee, Florida. And I left Tech and was transferring to Florida State. And I got there, and the AD said, call me from a pay booth, phone booth. So I called when I got to Louisiana Tech. Maxie Lambright had been hired by Louisiana Tech. I'm out of here, and I'm gone. I get to Tallahassee, and I call the AD. He says, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you want, but there's no scholarship for no Terry Bradshaw. My advice to you, young man, is to get your ass back where you came from.
Oh, wow.
And I turned to my brother and I said, we don't have a scholarship.
Oh.
They don't even know who I am. And so he quizzed me about, are you sure about this, sure about that? I said, which I was. I said, golly, we don't have enough money to get home. And so we went from hotel to hotel getting Coke bottles and got enough money, gas money, to work our way back to Ruston, which I hadn't turned in hadn't filed for a transfer. And I got back to Tech.
And the rest is history.
Exactly. But what happened was this Maxie Lambright got wind of me transferring and was filing tampering charges.
Filing charges against you.
So, not me, Florida State.
Oh, for tampering.
Florida State just
wow.
denied it and just didn't know who I was. I had no place to go. And so I came back to Tech. I mean, that's the story. I've never told that story.
That's a very
good story.
That's
though,
a very good story.
Good story.
That's a very good story. So you ended up back at Tech. And you threw. It was a throwing offense at that point with you.
Well, not really at first, Beth. It was the first year in the Maxey was a tough deal because Phil Robertson was the starting quarterback, and he just wanted to shoot ducks and deers, and it was not a good football team, and it was exactly what I thought it was when I left. I had such a passion for playing, and there's certainly not going to say all those guys didn't, but they were under the old regime, and I wanted to win football games and make something out of my life, and I didn't see it as they saw it, and but that's where Mickey Slaughter was fighting for me and saw the talent, and because there was a coach here, it was head of physical education, P. Huey Williamson. Huey wasn't on my side, and when Max came in, it was a lot of politicking going on. It was not a good deal for me, and that's why I was trying to get out of here. So. It's a good story. I like telling that story. It's like going through a divorce and going to counseling. It's good to talk about it.
It's a good
kind
story.
Of healing.
Well, but what's happened now is you did so well at Louisiana Tech that you went on for your NFL career, but you also must love Tech sufficiently to have given to them your Super Bowl rings.
It is my one really passion is my school. I love this place. This is Squire Creek, but this is Louisiana Tech. But I do. I love my school. If I were a billionaire, I wouldn't be a billionaire.
Yeah.
They would have a lot of my money, or most of it. I just love this school. I don't know what it is. The people are so sweet and kind, and I'm safe here, and I've got great friends here. There's a guy off camera, and James Davison took me when I was just a nothing, and I used to babysit his kids who are now, I'm horse partners with one of them, Steve, and it was the perfect place for me because it's not a pressure situation, and we think big, but we act small. You can come here and be comfortable, and
Do you come back a lot?
I don't come back a lot. I would come back more, but I don't have a home. I live in Florida, but it's not my home, and so I've made it known that I'd like to live here and work from here to LA, and so. And
you could still have your career doing the football
wherever
the commentary. Yeah, you can fly.
So I'd like to come back here. I love it here.
Well,
peaceful.
Well, you are certainly admired in your home state. I have to tell you. Everybody.
I love my state.
Well, everybody feels that way about you, and I have to ask you though a few things about your time as a great 4 Super Bowls. Everybody just dreams of being in one of them.
Exactly.
We thought we were going to die when the Saints went to one thing. The whole state felt like they had gone.
You should have seen me when they were playing the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm screaming and hollering, going nuts. All my family was.
Exactly.
And then when Manning threw that interception for the touchdown, I'm going, oh, yeah, baby.
That's right.
Sorry, Peyton, but you may be a Louisiana boy, but you ain't a Saint.
That was a wonderful time for it.
Yeah, it was.
But when you look back on your career playing, what are the standout moments for you?
At Tech?
No, professionally, NFL.
Well, professionally, you're only measured by championships, Beth. And so. You talk about Super Bowls 9 and 10, 13 and 14, and I'm proud of all of that. But my friends who know me well will tell you that my happiness, my greatest happiness, my real joy, which is Louisiana Tech, my joy is at this school. I don't care anything about pro football. Seriously, I don't. Because it's a business and it's cruel and. Yeah. I love college football. I love Jimmy Johnson, co-host at Fox. He and I watch football all day on Saturday, and we watch all Louisiana Tech games. We know when the games are on. And Jimmy loves Louisiana. Jimmy Johnson's first coaching job was
at
Tech. That's right.
I knew that. Yeah, now that you're
first
saying
coaching
that.
job was at Tech, so I am a big-time college fan and huge college fan, more so than NFL can't even come close. My outlook on the NFL is a business. College was an education and fun, and I'm all about fun. I ain't necessarily all about education.
Now,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, clearly you've done well in business, though, and people
Yeah,
who
but
say
all that.
But the interesting thing is all this. We see all these reality shows now that are portraying Louisiana.
Do you know how many I've turned down?
Have you turned down?
Oh my God, Beth, you wouldn't believe it. You think I need a camera following me?
No. You don't want a camera.
No. Oh no, that'd be the worst thing ever happened to me.
Well, but you have been in several movies, though, and you enjoyed those.
I've been in movies because I know the people that are in them. That's how I got into movies. I'm no actor. I can't act a lick.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
And I look into the camera and say I did not make any money. Zero.
No money, but fun.
No, it was fun. I wanted to meet Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason.
You
Roger Moore.
Smokey and the Bandit ones. And,
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
I got to hang out with these guys. Dean Martin. Are you kidding? Bob Hope.
Oh,
the great thing about the NFL was only the fact that it allowed me the opportunity to associate with some of the great stars that I am a movie freak. I love movies. Yeah. And to meet presidents, and I met so many presidents. And
have you met all the living presidents right now?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, every one of them.
That's really interesting, isn't it? That's
Congressman Joe D. Wagner took me to see President Nixon.
Wow.
I got to fly on my first jet plane.
Yee!
How cool was that? And now I'm a plane freak.
Are you?
Oh,
do you fly yourself?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I own my own plane, which is like, to me, it's the greatest accomplishment in the world. Can't fly it much because I can't afford the gas, but I own one.
That's a great thing.
I know. I like looking at it.
Well, you seem to have a lot of fun, though, on the Fox Sports Center things, and your colleagues have fun with you.
I'm kind of like the butt of all jokes.
Why is you enjoy it?
I think I pretty much set myself up for that. I've kind of got a little Abner Hee-Haw approach about me, and they all
laughing all the way to the bank.
Don't think I'm stupid, but it's fun. I don't quite take myself as serious.
Some of them take themselves very seriously.
A little too serious.
Yeah.
It's only football, you know.
Well, but speaking of seriously, everybody in Louisiana takes football very seriously, and everyone is very distressed about all the penalties and all the things that are coming down on the Saints and everything. But I guess what I would suggest is that there is concern about injuries to football players late in life. Now, you had a concussion. Have you ever had any? Do you have any lingering, problems from your
from football?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I got tons.
Physical.
But I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I told you when we first started this interview, I wanted to play in the NFL, and I'm 63 years old. I just had this bone removed. This bone's removed. This wrist is fused. All the shoulders have been fixed. Knees have been scoped, ankles have been operated on, concussions out the kazoo. I go to the clinics out in California for concussions. But I'm not one of those guys that's suing the NFL because I knew what I signed up for. I'm proud to be an NFL player, and I don't mind all the crap I'm dealing with. It's
part of the business.
God has allowed me to fulfill my dream. And if that means my life is shortened by it, so be it. I am been blessed, and I don't blame anybody for what I've been through. I accept it. Hell, I'm glad to tell you I can't hear and this hurts and that hurts. It's something you didn't do.
Right.
I'm proud of it, and you should hurt. You ought to have. If you played as many years as I played, we're going to hurt. I don't like to talk about it.
we've been visiting with your friend Kix Brooks earlier, and you and Kix really have tried to come back and do some things for your alma mater. Have fun.
Yep.
But also, give
money.
back, raise money.
Yep.
And that's important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely. My school, this isn't LSU.
Yeah.
Or Notre Dame or Southern Cal, where we can say, well, we've got a building project this year. We need $75 million, and everybody from around the world mails in a check.
Yeah.
It's Louisiana Tech. It's an engineering school where academics far exceed the athletics. And we of the athletic world say, if we can succeed more in our athletics, then more students want to come here. Don't tell me they won't.
Right.
And we still have our academics.
Right.
And that's been our approach here for the last 15 years.
Well, you're doing a great job doing it, and we in Louisiana appreciate your coming back and caring about it. And, it's sort of strange when we talk about Louisiana Legends, because you feel like, oh, I'm legendary. What does that mean?
I'm alive.
But you're alive. Well, you're a living legend as opposed to a dead legend.
There you go.
You're a living legend. And I guess, people who are watching you and say, he looks like he has fun doing what he does, that he looks like he's enjoying what he's doing. Is that true?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's a blessing to be alive, number one.
Yeah.
And I don't take things as seriously as maybe I should, but God, I can't get past being alive and the fact that I do what I do for a living. Broadcast. Are you serious? Really? That's broadcasting, and go out and be able to meet the people I meet, all because of winning football games, starting here at Louisiana Tech and going to our first bowl game, and then to Pittsburgh and winning those Super Bowls. It's just like, if I think about it, I kind of would be impressed with myself.
Well,
really, let me get over that statement just for a second.
Get over that statement. But we thank you for spending a little time with us today.
Well, thank you. You kidding me?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And there's no money in this. I know that.
No.
They already told me that.
That's right.
I'm a little short this month.
That's right. And thank you very much for joining us for Louisiana Legends.
For a copy of this program, call 1-800-973-7246 or go online to www.lpb.org.
Funding for this program was provided by Community Trust Bank, serving the communities of North Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi for more than a century. Community Trust Bank is a proud partner of LPB's Louisiana Legends.
Funding for this program was provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.